Well, welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are excited to learn yet another Amud in the Gemara. Hashem will help us, Bezos Hashem, to be mechaper and avoinus and have Geula Shlema, Geula Prat, Geula Klal for each and every one. People are in sorrows, and Klal Yisrael is in sorrow, and Bezos Hashem will be redeemed very, very soon. Just to daven hard for that. And now we are learning for the Hatzloch of Klal Yisrael. We are in Daf Samach Beis Amud Beis, and we are in the words ve'ela, ve'ela. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 7 or 8 lines from the bottom, from the top of the page. Samach Beis Amud Beis, top of the page. Ve'ela hadam Rabbi Yoshia. Of course, we have to recap. And this year's Leilu Nishmas, my father Menachem ben Akiva, lehatzlochas au bashir li b'basas. Lerefuas kol chol Yisrael, or Rafael ben Dalia. Yeah, how did the operation go? We have to wait. So we are learning now about Dovel Shelo Baloilom. Before we continue, let's remember where we're holding. What are we doing? Yes, Ellen. We said yesterday that if a person tells a woman who is not Jewish, it doesn't work. To me after you convert to Judaism. No, since it's not up to him, not even up to her, if she becomes Jewish or not. It's not something that's depending on them, depends on other factors, other people, other people's faith, or the BSD Can, other people involved, since you cannot change the reality. And right now, this woman is not mikudeshetable, mimela, now that those Kiddushin are not Kiddushin. Same goes, a person approaches an Ashes Ish. Yeah, kind of strange. He tells a married woman, I already have my eyes on you, which is not so kosher at all. That's besides the point. Now, once your husband divorces you, let's your husband will divorce you in 2 years' time or 2 months' time. I think her husband should divorce her. Yeah, and then you mukadeshes to me retroactively. It doesn't work. Because again, this is something that didn't happen. It's double shalom aloylom. These conditions are not up to any of them. It's up to the husband. And therefore, these things don't work. Now, Rabbi Yochanan came later on and said that if there's a reality which right now doesn't exist, will exist in the future, but it's up to you, you can change the reality, then you can act now, yeah, upon the future. What do I mean? Meiser. We gave an example of Meiser. A person says, I have these delicious, good, amazing fruit, which right now are still connected to the ground. Yeah? Can I take Meiser on this fruit? Clearly not. Says Rabbi Yochanan, depends. If he says, I'm taking Meiser now, and when I will pick them, Be'ezras Hashem, which I can, Baruch Hashem, I have 2 healthy hands. If everything goes normal, yeah, I have my hands, I have my mind, I have my thing, I have my workers, I'm going to pick them on Tuesday. Now is Sunday. I'm Meiser now, yeah, building on the future, relying on the future, but the future is up to me. And I want it to work lemafrea. How do you say lemafrea in English? Retrospectively or retroactively. Yeah, I'm just teaching the word lemafrea. Yeah, very good. And therefore, it will work lemafrea. Why? Although the fruit right now is not meiserable, you can't take meiser, it doesn't relate to it when it's still connected, but because I can disconnect them very easily myself, I can act upon that, and once on Tuesday they will be picked, then the meiser really worked already lemafrea from Sunday, and those fruit are meiser and you can eat them straight away. Wow, good trick. Ve'ela. Comes now a question. Ve'ela hadam Rabbi Yoshia. Now, according to what we said, what we just said, how would you view the statement of Rabbi Yoshia Be'ezras Hashem? Says Rabbi Yoshia, a man tells his wife, here's a pruta, take the pruta of Kiddushin. They're married already. He's giving a pruta of Kiddushin. What do you mean? And he told her, it's not this stupidity of renewing the vows, right? The goyim have renewal of the vows. No, it's not that. He tells his wife, you are mekudeshes to me after I divorce you. Meaning, I'm planning on divorcing you, but I want to remarry you. Maybe I want to mekayim the mitzvah, machzir grushosoi. Yeah, there's a mitzvah if a person divorced his wife to remarry. In any event, this interesting couple, he tells her, yeah, I will divorce you, and you're mekudesh to me now from after I divorce you. Interesting. Yeah, ain't a mekudeshes. She's not mekudeshes because she's not divorced. It's davar shalom aloylom. It's not something that came to the world because right now she's not bas kiddushin. One thing you cannot do with your wife, you cannot be mekadesh your wife. She's already mekudeshes, right? And kiddushin acher kiddushin, yeah. So therefore, she's not mekudeshes. I will go with the future. Well, if you go with the future, achinami l'Rabbi Yochanan dehavu achinami l'Rabbi Yochanan dehavu kiddushin. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it should be good kiddushin. Why? Because Rabbi Yochanan is the one who established that if the act is up to me and I can do it, well, it's up to me to divorce my wife. It's up to me to divorce my wife. And since it's up to me to divorce my wife, Memela what? Memela very good. It's all in my hands. And therefore I can act as if my wife is already Megoreshes, divorced, and I'm remarrying her already now, because it's up to me. Now, the Meiri asks the question, I think it's the Meiri, I saw a few Rishonim this morning, I think it's the Meiri who says, remember, by the girl, we said that the girl is not up to him, it's up to Beis Din. Well, maybe by the divorcee also. He can't just give a get like that. He needs Beis Din, he needs a Soifer and Adim and Dayonim. Maybe they won't agree. So the Meiri answers what we would answer. The Meiri says, by Gerushin, it's quite common. I'm not exactly quoting him, but Gerushin, it's very common that they will agree to the Gerushin. He's going to tell them how horrible she is. She'll say, he's horrible. They'll brainwash the Yonim a bit. I can't take it anymore. Blah, blah, blah. I'm living in hell. And then what? Okay, yalla, leave us alone. Get your get, the Dayonim. But Ger, oh, no. Ger, we tend to reject on purpose. So by Ger, we're not sure that the Ger will get the Beis Din. They will just, a guy's not supposed to come to Beis Din and say, I want to be Jewish, and make him Jewish. Some do, but it's very bad, yeah? And therefore, by the Ger, we don't know if it will happen. But the husband, he's holding the cards in his hands. And he can divorce her, just like he can pick the fruit, so it's considered as if it's already done deal, right? Kol shebeyodoi, I'm quoting again Rabbi Yochanan, he said, Kol shebeyodoi, lav kimechusar ma'asedami. Anything that's in my hands, in my power, it's as if it's done already. So here by the get also, it's as if my wife is divorced, and Mimela now I can give her those second Kiddushin, upon the future already now. Answers the Gemara, a very, very witty, sharp answer. Nehi comes the answer. Nehi de biyoda legalsha, biyoda lekacha. Says Rashi, maybe she won't agree to remarry you. According to Ikar Hadin, you're allowed to divorce your wife against her will. But you can't marry her against her will. How can you now say to her, Ret Mukadeshes Li, upon the future, who says she'll agree to marry you then? Yeah, who says she will agree then? Who says she'll agree to marry you second time? Even if now she says yes, but then will be a whole new reality that's up to her. She's the foreign power over here. She's like the Beis Din. She's like the other who's impeding you, because you don't know if she'll agree. Even if now she says, yes, darling, maybe after you divorce her, she'll change her mind. Yeah, who says will want you again? You with all your foolish mind games. And therefore, what we say that even Rabbi Yochanan would agree, it's not exclusively all in the hands of the husband, and he will agree to Rabbi Yoshia that it doesn't work. Eina mekudeshes. Very good. However, frag the Gemara, another statement of Rabbi Yoshia. It's the same Rabbi Yoshia, but now a similar case. Rabbi Yoshia is going to now, instead of stating, Rabbi Yoshia will now ask and wonder and contemplate on the case. Let us tifshoit. Let's try and resolve the doubt. Yeah, the question of Rabbi Yoshia. The Bar Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yoshia had a question, similar but not the same. And that's in shtei prutos leisha. A man gave 2 prutos to a single woman. 2 for single. There's a woman who's a besula. A woman is not married, regular woman, not married, and they're thinking of each other. Yeah, and he's giving her 2 prutos. The achas omer lo is kachli hayoim. He said to her, with 1 pruta, be miskadish to me now, today. I'm planning on marrying you and divorcing you, right? And now, I'm giving you 1 pruta for now, and already 1 pruta that after I divorce you, I want you to get this pruta, so after we get divorced, I'll remarry you then, and that pruta should work for that. Yeah, I'm already planning in advance now, divorced and future. And there, Rav Yosha, for some reason, had the suffix, had the doubt, maybe it will work, maybe it does work. Soon we'll see why I had a doubt. But first of all, Kivshot Mino, the law of the Kiddushin, L'choira, it should be poshut that it's not Kiddushin, right? Because we said that the post-divorce era is not up to you. Because once the woman is divorced, you can't say, okay, and then you'll be Mikudeshes to me. What do you mean? I'll be a whole new person, Grusha, then I will not be interested in maybe receiving the second Kiddushin. And maybe therefore, yeah, and as we passed before. So maybe here too, the second Kiddushin are not going to work already from now, not work at all. Says the Gemara, no, here it's not the same. Why? Here we have a suffix. Dilma, maybe, although it's a maybe, כי היכי דתפסי קידושין השתא, תפסנה מלאחר כן. Oh, Rashi says, what is the suffix? There is a concept here of migo, which means, migo is our good amigo, which means, not the regular migo of Nezikin, of BSD, but a similar idea. Migo means since, mitoich, yeah, from, within, since. In other words, the woman in the first case is married. A married woman, if you want to remarry your wife who's married to you right now, there are two disadvantages. First of all, you can't plan her wishes and her will after the divorce. She may tell you, sorry, dear, not again. And secondly, a married woman, your own married wife, you cannot marry now. Yeah, don't talk to me about the nonsense of renewal of vows. It's maybe very nice for Shalom Bayis, but it's not a real thing. Yeah, there's no marrying. En bishul achar bishul, en kiddushin achar kiddushin. She's married. Oh, Mashe'en Ken, this girl we're talking about now is not married, right? This girl, the kiddushin that he applies to her now, if she wants it, and she's bas kiddushin, she's kiddushinable because she's single. Maybe now the second kiddushin can jump on the bandwagon, and he can say, maybe you won't want me, but in case you do, these are your kiddushin already now. Since I can apply one kiddushin to you, I'm already doing the whole program, the whole serial, the whole series. I'm telling you mikudesh now, and in case you want, after the gerushin, I'm giving the second kiddushin also now. So you'll be married, divorced, and married, and I'm planning the whole thing. Maybe it won't work. And chinami. Maybe it doesn't work. That could be, but maybe yes. And therefore remain in the suffix. And believe it or not, Lamaisa Aison Shulchan Aruch and Rishonim and Aison Shulchan Aruch, he says she's suffix mikudeshes the second time. She's mikudeshes the first time. First time is not a question. The second kiddushin, yeah, let's say after the gerushin tells her, aret mikudeshes li now with the money I gave you before, it's a suffix. It's a suffix whether you can plan in advance, yes or no, yeah, because of her lekor das. Mitzad echad, she is bas kiddushin. Mitzad sheni, to plan after the divorce, you can't, possibly, maybe. And therefore, we remain in the suffix. Yes, I think you were first. Hold on. Let's continue, and more things will reveal. Again, what's Rabbi Yochanan's big thing? Rabbi Yochanan said one clear statement, and we follow Rabbi Yochanan. Kol shebeyodoi lav kimchusal ma'asedami. If it's up to me, to my hands, I can do it myself without asking anybody else, without needing anybody else, except for Kadosh Baruch Hu. Then I can act now based on the future. And now we have a brisa to support Rabbi Yochanan, only the first part of the brisa. What does the brisa say? Ein tor min menotolu shel mechuber, as we said, you can't take meiser from regular disconnected fruit, reaped fruit, on the ones mechuber, on the ones connected, because fruit connected to the ground, meiser doesn't apply to them, nothing. If you took the truma is nothing. The truma you gave the Kohen, you have to call him quickly and say, hey, Mr. Kohen, this is not truma. It's tevel. The Kohen is not allowed to eat it because it was truma on nothing. Truma on plastic toys is not truma. So the truma itself is tevel. And secondly, the other nafkamina, once you pick those whatever apples, you'll again, you'll have to take meiser truma for the first time because truma that's premature before it's disconnected, before it's harvested, is nothing. The Torah, Ketzad, for example, Omar Peros Arugazu Tlushin, you truma Peros Arugazu Mechuberes. Oh, as I told you, he said those fruit, those red apples that are harvested will be truma. I'm giving them, I'm calling the name truma, giving them to the Kohen to exempt the Peros of the apples in the orchard that are still connected, they're still on the tree. Or alternatively, Peros Arugazu Mechuberes, you trumal Peros Arugazu Tlushin, the other way around. I am now saying that those apples that are now still on the tree, they are now They are meiser, truma meiser, over what? The apples that need meiser, that are already nicely piled and disconnected. Loy omar klum, nothing. It's complete nonsense because you cannot take meiser either direction, take meiser or take meiser upon, exempt anything connected to the ground. It's still connected to the ground under age, under a thing. However, aval, and this is where Rabbi Yochanan kicks in. Omer lekshi talshu v'nitleshu dvov kayomin. If he said, I know I cannot do it now, but now is, what's today? Wednesday. Now is Wednesday. And I'm telling you, I'm now taking myself from the disconnected on the ones that are on the tree. Because you know what? On Friday, I'm planning a big apple picking day. And it's up to me. And then I'm telling you, on Friday, once I pick them, I want the Meister retroactively to work from now, from Wednesday. Then what do we say? Dvorov kayomin. Yes, it does. It works. Because it's up to me, I can plan the future. And I say, I'm Ki'ilu planting the seeds of Meiser. Meiser starts now. It's too early. I'm setting it in motion. It's like a timer. You set your Shabbos clock on Friday. When will the light go on? It will go on, whatever, tomorrow at whatever, tonight at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah. Or something like that. Whatever. Yeah. So too, it's up to me. It's up to me that I will pick the fruit. Very good. Therefore, I'm saying Meiser should apply now. What does it mean now? Once I pick them, and they will be Meiser, there will be Meiser material retroactively from Wednesday. From now, it's already Meiser, and I'll eat them on Friday, and I don't need to do anything else. Okay. Now that is who? That is Tanakama, and Tanakama works very well with Rabbi Yochanan. It's exactly what Rabbi Yochanan said. However, Yeser Ken Omer Blezer ben Yaakov. Blezer ben Yaakov said more than Tanakama. In fact, he's arguing with Tanakama. Blezer ben Yaakov took the idea of the futuristic Meiser, he took it a few steps further, as we're going to see. Look what he says. Look at Blezer ben Yaakov. He says as well. Afilu Omar Peres Arugazu Tlushin. You Terumah al Peres Arugazu Mechuberes. Okay. Again, either way, either he's taking Meiser from something reaped, disconnected on the connected, or from the connected to disconnected. Listen to this. Lek shiaviu shlish. Lek shaviu shlish. That's big news. Lek shaviu shlish v'italshu. Ve'aviu shlish v'nitleshu dvorov kiyomin. Let me explain the whole thing. Be'ezos Hashem. So like this. Meiser, as Peretz very nicely said yesterday, when does Meiser begin to apply, to kick in? When are you chayv b'Meiser? When it's sliced, nicely arranged in the box, in the pile, in the heap, call it whatever you want. Memurach, then it's chayv b'Meiser d'oraisa. Leave Rabbanon alone for now. That's when it's chayv d'oraisa. Good. Why? It says dogon. Dogon means cereals and grains, as I told you. Look in your cereal box next time you have your breakfast. If you have cereals for breakfast, it says tarovet dganim. Cereal. Yeah, dganim. Now, however, let me ask you a question. How ripe does it have to be? Let's say I pick unripe fruit and I arrange them. It's nice, but the fruit are not ripe. Whatever ripe means, halachi. That's also an issue. The word dagan also means that it has achieved at least a third of its maximum growth. Yeah. Let's say it's supposed to be, let's say each grain, by the way, go by the grain, not by the height of the, according to Rashi, not by the height of the stalk. Let's say the grain's supposed to be, I don't know, excuse my ignorance, 3 centimeters big. Let's say 3 centimeters big, the grain of wheat, I don't know, and it grew 1 centimeter out of 3, okay? Then it's chayv b'meiser. If it's below a third of its maximum growth, right, then it's not chayv b'meiser. And even if you pick it right now, not chayv b'meiser. You didn't do anything. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov is much more audacious than Rabbi Meir. And he's telling you that even if the meiser is not completely up to me, it's up to Kadosh Baruch Hu, who runs the nature, there too, I can already work upon the future, which means, let's say the grains I have wheat that's still growing in the field. Not only it's not picked, it's not fresh and good and ready to be picked, and it's only up to me to pick them. Let's say they are below a third, which means that in order to be halachically valid or chayav b'meiser, somebody has to grow them. even with technology, I'm sure technology is very advanced in agriculture. They do a lot of things, yeah. But lemaisa, it happens naturally because the thing grows quicker, slower. It's not up to you. You, Mr. Owner, the one who wants to take meiser, it's not up to you to make it grow up to a third, right? And yet, says Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, if I have a field with, let's say, wheat, which is less than a third, and I'm already planning the meiser, and I'm saying once it will become a shlish, a third, and I will pick it, then, I want meiser to apply from now retroactively. Rabbi Yochanan surely wouldn't agree with that. Why? Rabbi Yochanan says I can only play future if the future is up to me and only me. Only me. Not the wife, not the Beis Din, not my next door neighbor, and not HaKadosh Baruch Hu, excuse me. And therefore it won't work. It will not work. But Shenken, according to Eliezer ben Yaakov, says, yes, Dovo Shalom B'Olam works. As long as you have something to work with, you have a little bit of fruit over here, even though it's less than a third. And right now, halachically, Meiser doesn't apply to something less than a third. And it's not up to you. You have to wait for the rain and daven, so it should grow. And yet, says Eliezer ben Yaakov, if everything goes right, and a Kodesh Baruch Hu will give me nice golden wheat, which is the whole third growth, and then I will pick it, then it will be Chai Meiser? Yes. Then already now I can apply Meiser to it when everything goes well. Lemafrea, it will happen from now. Wow. That is Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, who's the Tana, who's not like Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan was supported by Tanakama. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov is one step further. By the way, Rashi says, Alochel Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, because we have a rule, Mishnah Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Kav the Noki. Kav and Noki. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov didn't speak many times, but whenever he spoke well. Yeah, some people speak a lot. Yeah, he spoke, in measure, but whatever he said was right. I'm not saying Halacha l'maisa, I don't know, but that's what Rashi says. Now we have a Machlokes Amoraim within the opinion of Eliezer ben Yaakov. Eliezer ben Yaakov, revolutionary opinion, is now going to have Machlokes Amoraim regarding him. Amar Rabba. We have, Rabba and Rav Yosef argue many times. Amar Rabba. Lo Amar Eliezer ben Yaakov ela b'shachas. Eliezer ben Yaakov only said what he said in a tvua, a kind of tvua that already grew. It's less than a third, but it's already shachat. Shachat is a stage in the growth when animals can eat it. Human beings won't eat that. It's good. It's not separate fodder for the animals. It could be the same wheat, but because it's so small, right? It's so small, then human beings will not. It's underdeveloped. Human beings are not going to eat it, right? Okay. And Rashi says it's a chita of shachas. Unbelievable. Animals would eat it. Animals would eat it. And therefore, if you ask Tim McKenzie, is this good wheat? Halachically, we know it's not yet a third. But Tim McKenzie will tell us it's good because you can feed the cows that. Yeah, you can feed that to the cows. In other words, physically speaking, agricultural speaking, there's something here. So now Rabbi is limiting Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov when he says, although Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov believes that even though halachically he didn't reach the stage yet, but technically, physically, yeah, it's good for animals. Therefore, the Meiser applies. Aval be'agam loy. Agam over here doesn't mean a lake. Agam does mean a marsh. Agam here means something completely different. Agam here means what? Something that is even below shachat. In other words, there are three stages, my friend. The first stage of the life of the wheat or barley or the cereal is called agam. Agam means that it just grew above the ground. It's just like jutting above the ground, and you can already, you can bend its head. It's big enough you can bend its head. That's called agam. What can you do with it? Nothing. Even animals don't eat it. Seriously, it's so small, so nothing. Says Rabbah, the second stage is shachas, and the third stage is a third of the growth, and then more. Says Rabbah, when it is already in the stage of shachas, it's something you can apply meiser to it. But agam is so tiny, so nothing, even animals won't have it. It's too soft to garnish. It's like grass, and therefore it's so insignificant. Even according to Rabbi ben Yaakov, you can't have meiser applying to it, because even in the olam meiser, it's nothing. Just as halachically nothing. It's technically nothing still. Rav Yosef argues on Rabbah. He says no. Afilu be'agam, even with an agam, it's going to work, and you can take meiser even with an agam. Why? Because it's a little bit in existence. As long as it's existing, even though it's insignificant, but you can see it. It starts Zeh cotton godoliyah. So even though it's insignificant in its stage of growth, it's ba'olam, exactly. It's ba'olam, very good. Although technically still not suitable for anything. Halachically, forget it. It has to be a third growth. But because it's there, it's a teeny quincy little spark of something, I can already apply Meiser to it. When will the Meiser apply? Of course not now. Now, on Sunday, I'm telling you that in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, it's going to grow a third. Then I'll pick it. It's going to grow nicely, I hope, up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And I'll pick it. According to Lezer Ben Yaakov, that's good enough. 1 second before you ask the question. Frag the Gemara, a grammatical, technical question. My mashmadai agam lishna de butzalnehu. How do you know that the word agam, usually used for a lake or a marsh or a grazing area, how do you know that the word agam is coming to talk about butzalna? Butzalna is levatzel velalot, is to jut out and just bend the head. Yeah? How do you know? Omar Blazer, the Omar Kro, halakov ke'agmon roishoy. Oh, it says in the Novi, alachoif ke'agmon roishoy. The one who bends his head, lakoif roishoy. What's lakuf rosh? Like this. The one who bends his head like an agmon. So you see that agmon or agam means something that bends his head. Very good. Okay? Yes, you good? Yeah. Frag the Gemara now, and we're going to summarize it soon, but let's see question and answer, and then we'll be a summary. Kiman Azla, we're now kind of testing Rabbi and Rav Yosef, putting their opinions to test. And we're going to see a statement of a Tana, and then we'll see again how that works with Rabbi and Rav Yosef. Kiman Azla, according to who does it work well? Hodetanya, who follows the following statement? What? By the way, it's not a Tanya, it's a Tanan. We're going now to quote the end of the Mishnah we saw yesterday. What did we say at the end? Remember the case of the pregnant woman? If your wife gives birth to a nekeva, to a girl, she's mekudeshes. I'm already having my eyes on the embryo, on the fetus. In case it is mekudesh, it's a woman, it's a girl mekudeshes already from now. Once born, the kudeshes. Lo yamar klum, nothing. It's not considered as anything. Why? Here comes huge surprise. Huge surprise. Don't faint. Rabbi Chanina is qualifying the Mishnah big time. Lo shanu. This is only true. Wow. You know when it doesn't work? When the woman is not pregnant. He sees a couple walking down the street, his friend and his wife, and the wife is clearly not pregnant. She's pencil thin. She's absolutely not pregnant, and he knows she's not pregnant, okay? And now he's saying, you know, if your wife gets pregnant, and if your wife gives birth, and if it's a baby girl, then she's mekudeshes, nothing. That's lo baloilam. Nothing came to the world yet at all. Not even a tiny bit of embryo or fetus of nothing. Wow. You see a woman with a bit of a bump, you see a woman which is pregnant, and he's pointing and he says, if it's a girl mekudeshes, then it works. Oh, wait, we thought you think it's crazy? No, this is very much like who? Like Ablezer ben Yaakov. Ablezer ben Yaakov said that even though the growth of the girl or her being girl or a boy is not up to me, it's up to Kodesh Baruch Hu, right? This is not something which I'm doing. I'm not picking the fruit, right? Nevertheless, it's good enough because there's something already here. There is an embryo here. There is an unborn baby here. And therefore, according to Ablezer ben Yaakov, Givaldig, it's very good. However, there was a machloikes within Ablezer ben Yaakov between Rabbah and Rav Yosef. Let's repeat the machloikes. According to Rabbah, Ablezer ben Yaakov only said this new idea only if the item is already important, significant. Yeah, it can be used to feed animals. Yeah, according to Rav Yosef, no. Even if it's a tiny thing, as long as it's in existence, I can already relate to it and wait until HaKadosh Baruch Hu grows it and it's already considered meiser. Now, who does that statement follow? Well, it follows both. But the question is how? With which conditions? Ikiraba, shehukar uboro. Very good. According to Rabbah, who requires that according to Ablezer ben Yaakov, in order to apply halacha to something that needs to develop, We only say that when it's choshuv, significant, noticeable. Then only when hukar uboro, only when the Uber is significant. Uber is not a taxi driver. Uber is the unborn baby. Yeah, he's going to work as he's in the taxi in his mother. What is hukar uboro? Says the Gemara in Nida Daf Ches. I saw it today just to make sure because I wasn't sure. What's called hekar ubar? Kosher chodoshim. Yeah, like by Tamar, the story of Tamar and Judah in Genesis. So 3 months. 3 months is considered as heker uba. Once the fetus is 3 months into pregnancy, the woman, then it's called hukar ubara. So if you know that the woman is pregnant, yeah, you saw the pregnancy test, yeah, but she's not 3 months into it, then according to Rabbi, it won't work. Only when it's a choshev thing, significant halachically, 3 months, they say for miscarriage, but the Evid, they say less than 3 months, maybe there are the Evid kulas. After 3 months, it's much, much harder. Also for marriage, all kinds of things. Sheukar uboro. Iker of Yosef, according to Rav Yosef, no. Afal pishalokar uboro. Rav Yosef takes Rav Lezer and Yaakov to an extreme. Even if we know that the embryo, the fetus, is a very, very primal stage, it's 2-3 days old. Yeah, she just did the pregnancy test. She got pregnant 2 nights ago. Yeah. So what? If I know there's an Uber, it's there. It's there. And therefore I can apply to it already. It's not up to me how the baby will develop. It's not up to me if it'll be a boy and a girl. True. So what? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov never cared about that. Again, Rabbi Yochanan is clearly out of the discussion. Rabbi Yochanan says all this is absolutely out of the question completely. Why? Rabbi Yochanan says you can only work futures if the future is exclusively up to you. Mashek, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov and his friends, Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef, they say no. Even if it's not up to me, but if it will happen, I'm speculating. But yeah, maybe yeah. Maybe the baby will be a beautiful, nice girl, and not beautiful, just a girl. Yeah. So what? Lamai says, as long as there's something here, or according to Rabbah, there's something important here, then it can already apply the halacha now. And if everything goes well and she gives birth to a baby, retroactively, I was the first one that was Makadish already. Vikadami, so that's an interesting YouTube title, no? Can you marry an unborn woman? Oh, wow. Can you marry a fetus? Today you have ultrasound. Vika de Amri makes it better. Why not?
The fetus will grow into something.
Not 20, not 20, my friend. No. A Ketana can marry with her father. You yourself said it. No, not true. A father may marry his daughter even when she is over 3. She's royal labia, but she can be mikudeshes without the husband touching her. She can be mikudeshes from day one. Once born, she'll be already his wife. Lemafreya from before, yes. Don't try it at home. Don't worry. No, nobody's recommending this, but maybe dire straits. Maybe, yeah. What? It's masurin potential. Eventually, it will be. Lamasurim lebia means that we'll never be able to have bia. Like in Daf Nun Aleph, Bain Roved, that you're marrying 2 sisters, you don't know which one. You'll never be able to touch any. Here, eventually, she'll be a very marriageable woman that you can have kids with. Some say. Now, another version of what Rabbi and Rav Yosef said regarding Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Some say, Omar Rabba. Rabba again is talking about Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, and he says, Lo Omar Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov ela b'shachas debei kivsha, which means Rabba is more conservative, is limiting to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov to be talking about shachas debei kivsha. Says Rashi, Sade bekivsha is sode of Baal. Baal means that it's being watered by the rainwater, and therefore, if that shachas, that less than third, what Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov said, let's refresh our memories, that even though it's less than a third, and it's not up to me to make it grow to a third, it's up to Kodesh Baruch Hu, with nature's Kodesh Baruch Hu, yeah? What do we say? Kivsha. As long as I know that the rain will come, rain is likely to come, it's going to grow, then I can already have my plans now and say, now I'm taking Terumah Samaisis on with the plan, banking on the idea that rain is going to come, everything will be well, and will grow into a third. Ava b'shachas de beishakya. If that wheat grows in a shakya, beishakya is a soda beis hashlochin. Baal and shlochin appears all over Shas. It's a soda that needs irrigation, human irrigation. Then loy. Then what do we say? Loy. It's not going to work. Why? Because sometimes people don't water that field properly. people don't water the field properly. The rain is always the rain. The rain is the rain. The rain is always good. The Kosh Baruch Hu brings rain the way you want it. Yeah, Gshomim be'itam. And therefore, we assume that the rain's going to come. And I can highly assume that nature, i.e., the creation, will take its course with the rain, and all is good. I can already act now upon the future. But if it's by Shakya, if it's something that is up to human beings, he's not really relying on himself. We don't really rely on him. Maybe he won't water it. Maybe he won't irrigate it right. And therefore, you can't bank on it. It may stop in the middle. Maybe it'll be glitch in the system. I see him making faces. I'm also making faces because I would say the opposite. I would say just the opposite. If I have reservoirs of water, I know I'm going to irrigate it. But the rain, how do you know the rain's going to come? I don't know. I have no clue. But this is what the Gemara says, and we have to understand the question. Adrabah. I didn't really look hard enough, but I looked a little bit. I didn't see an answer about that, but that's what the Gemara says. He needs explanation. I admit that there's a little bit of a question. Rav Yosef, just like before, said no. Afil b'shachas the beishakya. Even if the shachas the beishakya, since it's already considered shachas, what shachas? It can be eaten by animals. It's already usable. It's significant. But because although it's shakya, although it's irrigated by humans, and I don't know if the irrigation will go well, still it's considered as grown enough to have ma'aser. Let's summarize. There's a lot of between the lines in this opinion. First of all, you see that according to both Rabbi and Rav Yosef, if it's below the stage of shachas, it's not good. If it's just in the stage of agam, meaning it's there, but even animals won't eat it, there's nothing to do with it, then ma'aser does not apply. Both Rabbi and Rav Yosef require that it should be choshev, significant, visible, usable, that animals can eat it. However, Rabbi is the one who's adding an extra condition that at the end of the day, it's all very nice, animal can eat it. But we're waiting anxiously for it to bring a third. Only then the real meiser can kick in lemafreya. Says Rabbi, in a field in which I'm sure that the rain's going to come and I know that it's going to grow a third, then we say Tumas to Maisas. But if it's up to irrigation, which we don't know if it's going to work or not, then we say no. No. We have to be more secure that really the process will continue. The procedure will go on. Shenker Rav Yosef doesn't care about that. He says no. Rav Yosef says, since right now it's shachas, it's edible for animals, and I hope, yes, no, I don't know what the future will bring. I'm placing my bets. In case the irrigation goes well, all will be well. It will be a third. Oh, great. Once it will become a third, lemafreya ma'aser works. The Tumas Ma'aser. Now,
Rainwater, pure water, as irrigation is lots of.
I hear. Continues the Gemara with a similar question to one we had before. Kiman azlaho de tnan, not Tanya. Who within Rabbi and Rav Yosef, who is the one that works well with the following Mishnah and the statement of Rabbi Chanina? What does the Mishnah say? A man approaches his friend. If your wife gives birth to a baby girl, she's mekudeshes to me once born, retroactively. Nothing. Yeah, the woman, she's not there. We think she's pregnant. No. Rabbi Chanina says, you know when it's an issue when you cannot marry an unborn baby before the pregnancy, then it's really, really, really not in existence. Yeah, it's still in Shemaim, as they say. If the wife is pregnant, that's already advanced enough. You have who to talk to. You have an unborn baby. You have something there. And then Dvav Kayamim. Then Echnami works. Mamish L'Kabeza Ben Yaakov. Kiman. Who does that? Now, within Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef, what stage of pregnancy is required? Oh, unlike before, now we change our tune. Shehuka Ubara V'Divrei HaKol. Very good. According to the current explanation, according to the current explanation, Huka Ubara V'Divrei HaKol. When the baby is already significantly big enough, visible enough, i.e. 3 months, only then you can apply to the baby and say, that baby is already big enough to be halachically, technically, 3 months is a mensch in the womb, it's a third of the development, like the wheat, third, shlish geduloi. And therefore it's choshuv, and that's what you require, equivalent to shachas, not to agam. They all require shachas. What was the argument, Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef? The argument was, that if I need to interfere, human interference, because I need to irrigate the field, then Rabbi said it's not good enough. In pregnancy, no human interference needed. I know sometimes today, risky pregnancies, you have to do and inject. Normal pregnancy, Baruch Hashem, human beings already did their thing before the pregnancy. Once she's pregnant, set in motion, it's going to continue. That is like the Meg Shomim. That's a Kodesh Baruch Hu's nature working. And that everyone agrees. Even Rabbah, more Machmir, he agrees it's good enough, right? So let's summarize. Let's not get confused. Let's summarize the whole thing. So in the terms of Davar Shalom Ba'alolam, we see 2/3 opinions. What do you mean 2/3? According to Rabbi Yochanan, who by the way follows Tanakama, we put Tanakama on the side a little bit. Rabbi Yochanan has a Tana to support him. Rabbi Yochanan, supported by Tanakama, says, listen, I think the Davar Shalom Ba'alolam is a problem unless you and only you, without interference from nature or from the BSD or from her, from the Shviger, if she never interferes, I don't know. Only if this and that, only you can pick your own fruit, then we hear you. Then you can work in the present on behalf of the future. Then you can say, I'm now taking Meiser Terumah on something that's absolutely not up to Meiser yet, because it's not picked. But on Tuesday, I will pick it. I can pick it any given second. I can pick it in a second from now. It's beyond. It's up to me. The future is now. It's killer. I did it already, right? Okay. I'm now saying that when I pick the cup of water, then I'll drink it. Look, magic. Baruch Hashem. It's real magic. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. I can pick up the cup. Yeah. And good. Baruch Hashem. I have to thank Hashem. I can do it. Yeah. But why not? That's Rabbi Yochanan. However, comes Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov. That is, come other opinions followed by the Tana of Lezer ben Yaakov, and he has Rabban Rav Yosef on his team talking within Rav Lezer ben Yaakov. He says even more than that. Even if it's not up to only me, if the stage is so early that I'm still waiting for Kodesh Baruch Hu to make my wheat grow, right? Or I'm waiting for the baby to grow further, and it's not up to me, right? It's going to happen by itself. And boy, girl, I don't know. It's all up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Says Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov, yes, it can work. Yes, I can already apply Meiser to the undeveloped product now before it's Chayv b'Meiser, and it still has to grow. So what? We hope it will grow now. Once it grows shlish, it will go into a third in let's say a month's time, and then a day later I will pick it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it grow. I will pick it. Partnership, God and man. And now, I already now can say, I'm planning all that. Once it happens, retroactively from now, Meiser is Meiser. Within that was Machlokas Rabbi and Rav Yosef, right? And according to the first pshat of Rabbi and Rav Yosef, Rabbi said this is only true if the current stage, at least in technical eyes, there's something important here. It reached a stage which halachically it's not yet considered choshuv, it's less than a third, but the animals can eat it. Oh. So that's called something. It's called a product like fodder, as you said. Better. Then you can apply Meiser to it. And if it's below that, it's like nothing. It's like as if it didn't come to the world yet. It's not choshuv enough. Well, Rav Yosef said no. Rav Yosef said even if it's tiny and it's just bending its head, it's there. It's not important, it's not useful, but it's already there. And the second opinion, Rav Yosef said it's shachas, depends on the irrigation. Do you know it's going to happen, or do you think it's going to happen? That's what Rabba says. And Rav Yosef says, no, it's always okay. Seder. Let's continue. We're not really continuing the whole thing, but again, Omar Abaye, this is something very, very, very common by Abaye. One of the famous things that Abaye does all over Shas. You know, they give night Shiur now also. In the evening, we learn Shabbos. And Amud today, you're invited. 9 o'clock at night. 9:20. 9:20 is the Shiur. You're always welcome to come. And we all said Abaye over there. Abaye many times he collects different opinions and he puts them together. Yeah, he's telling you this and that Tana, or sometimes the Moraim. They all believe in the same concept. Omar Abaye, Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov, the Rebbe, the Rabbi Meir, is mentioning 3 Tanoim. Yeah, and he's finding the common denominator between 3 Tanoim. And he says, Kulu Sviralu, they all believe that in other words, they all believe that a person may, and we've seen that sugis many times in Dover Basra, a person may sell, may deal, sell, transaction, something that didn't yet come to the world. Opinion number one, Reb Lezer ben Yaakov, Hoda Amoron. In other words, Reb Lezer ben Yaakov, by the way, didn't say that something that's completely not in the world you can deal with. But he says even something in a very premature stage, according to Rav Yosef, let's say, even a very premature stage, just a tiny thing, yeah, that can bend its head, and it still has a lot of growing up to do. I can already relate to it. I can already give my sir, and the chayra, I can also sell it. I assume I can relate to it. Yeah, it's already relatable. It's a mensch. It's something. That's Oblez Ben Yaakov. Okay, that's opinion number one in the group of yes, Dovo Shalom. They believe that you can act upon Dovo Shalom. Rebbe, when did Rebbe say? When he said the Tanya, yeah. We had that. When did we have this sugya? We had that somewhere. Okay, the Tanya. Loi tasgir eved el adoinov. Yeah, it says in the Torah, do not, how do you say lasgir, not to frame, do not, like to, what? Lasgir means like to the police. In other words, like to make somebody go to jail or make someone, not to frame. To frame is like when you lie about him. To hand over, like handing over to police and hand over to the authorities. Yeah, lasgir, yeah. Uh, Yeah, right. Lo tasgir eved doino. Oh, so the halacha says, let's say, without going to the details now, yet Rashi says, based in Eva Azhara, that if an eved, if a slave escapes his master, do not return him, don't deliver him, don't hand him over back to the master. Okay, what? What do you mean, Knani or Ivri? We're talking here, I don't remember now, and I have to check it because I haven't prepared that. But I do know that it's definitely Knaini. It's definitely Knaini. And Ivri is not really an Eved B'chlal. It's an Eved Knaini who I think was sold to a Goy. I'm pretty sure about that. Not to a Yid. To a Yid, you do give him. I'm 90% sure, and this is something I have to check tomorrow. An Eved Knaini who ran from his Goy master, or even I think a Goy slave from his Goy master. I'm not sure. This is something they have to check because I haven't seen this yet now. I saw this more some time ago, but not now. So you're not supposed to not frame. You're supposed to give him back. Yeah. Rabbi Oimer. So now says Rabbi, "Velokeach eved al menas l'shachreroi akosuf medaber." The Torah talks about a case in which he took an eved, he bought an eved, on condition that he will free him. So what does it mean? Echidami. What's the story? Amar Nachman bar Yitzchak. Kigon dekosav lei. He wrote a shtar to the eved. Like shekachecho. When I will buy you, you're already acquired to yourself. Says Rashi, yeah, I'm telling you, I am now about to buy you. I didn't buy you yet, right? Yeah, I didn't buy you yet. It's Dovo Shalom. And even though I'm going to buy, when I will buy you, then you will be free for yourself. Look at the next Rashi. The Ibeshicheroi. Which means, if we're talking about the master himself, and we're basically saying, don't re-acquire your Eved, don't buy back your own Eved, yeah, let's say, yeah, the master freed the Eved, and now he wants to enslave him again. It's not called Eved, he's free. So we're talking about someone who is an Eved, and we're saying, you freed the Eved in advance before you even bought him, yeah, then you really have to let him free. So the point is, we will read this tomorrow because I feel I want to know more about it. But the one point we do get from Rebbe, excuse me, that you can relate to the Eved that you are going to buy as if you bought it already. You're making conditions with an Eved, you didn't buy it. Although it's up to you, it's within your hands. So this needs more explanation, and we have Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir, we know Rabbi Meir. Okay, that's actually is much easier. But let's stop for now. Tomorrow we will revisit this whole business with the Eved to get it clear. Ezras Hashem, Hashem should give us koyach, hatzlacha, bracha. Thank you to everybody who watches us on YouTube and giving us so many likes. And also to people on Torah anytime. Hatzlacha, bracha, b'chol inyoni, Mashiach now. You should know.